Hi everyone, it's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel and another paper crafting video tutorial. Today we are going to create a couple of out of this world shaker cards. Plus I am going to do an unboxing of the Pretty Pink Posh June 2024 release. All of the products included. So let's check that out first. Hi everyone, it's Nicole, and today we're going to do a little unboxing of the June 2024 Pretty Pink Posh release, and we're going to create some cards. So some of the cards will be in today's video and some will be in another video coming up next week. Let's take a look at the embellishments first. Pretty Pink Posh started out as an embellishment company, and so I always love to highlight those right off the bat. So we have some new shaker mixes. This is the Starry Galaxy and Stargazing mix. And you're going to see what these are great for here in a minute. We have the wonderful shaker beads, which are always my favorite. Look at these patriotic ones. I'm all about patriotic right now. And then these awesome evergreen. Oh my gosh, these colors, those are my favorite. Another patriotic mix. This is the Americana. So these look fantastic together. Then we have the Construction Zone. Oh yeah, those look like Construction Zone. I also think Halloween cards would be great for these. And Beach Day. Now, if you haven't already seen or guessed, this is a release kind of geared towards boys. Not all, but definitely a lot of those things that we maybe don't see a lot of, like sports and trucks and just all of that kind of good stuff. So we have some layering stencils here. These are the awesome, I don't know the name of this one right off the top of my head, but some great sports balls in this one. Look at the signs. Oh my word, those are awesome. Perfect for your construction cards. Now this is a brick background that will work for everything. And if you have followed me for a while, you know that bricks are one of my staple go-to backgrounds. And this one is amazing. It's the perfect size and they're very nice bricks, not very grungy or anything like that. So great for your construction cards, but also great for everything. This is a great basic. Then we have city buildings. Oh my gosh, that's adorable. I love die cuts, as you guys probably well know. We have some stitched stars. Look at these. Oh my gosh, that looks like so much fun. Then we have like a galaxy type layering stencil. This is going to be great for some other dies that you're going to see here in a minute. The fancy card. I will be sharing projects with this soon, not in today's video, but I will be sharing them soon. So there's all of these pieces here, and I'll show you how that all goes together. Then we have our utility vehicles. If you got last year's collection, I think a lot of this would work really well together. Helper vehicles, so police and ambulance and fire truck. Oh my gosh, so cute. The construction addition. So this is the addition to the construction set. Then of course we have our sports. And this is just great for all sports. All of my kids played sports at some sport one time or another, and I always needed sports themed cards and products, and sometimes it's hard to get. So there is a lot of really good stuff in this release. Outer space. Adorable planets, solar system, rocket, adorable. And then these are the dies that coordinate to all those sets we just talked about. I'm just going to move these out of the way. Then we have the For You, a nice addition sentiment. the Rocketship shaker, which I am here for. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. We have our big dump truck dies. This is amazing. Then we have eyelet ovals, the newest addition to their eyelets, which I love. I love all of these little eyelet details. I think even like to make some tags with this would be adorable. Same with our football shaker, and really same for our rocket. These would also make adorable gift tags for bags or presents, don't you think? Or place card holders, you know, if you're doing sports banquets or things like that. Love these. Here is the big excavator. Again, another die, and what I love, we can really use these together on cards as well. Very, very cool. And then our planet shaker, which again kind of ties back in. So lots of different themes to this release, and I think it's a little something for everyone. And let's dive in to some projects today.
Okay, I am going to be using the waffle flower grip mat to hold my cardstock in place while I am doing some inking. I did start with 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch panels of smooth white cardstock. These will be trimmed down a little bit to leave a white border all the way around. I often do like starting with a bigger background. A, maybe I want it to fill the whole card front, and B, this way it does give me a little room to play and cut things down if maybe there's an edge I don't like or something like that. Using some Prize Ribbon Distress Oxide ink, I am inking up the entire background panel. I started with a pretty light hand, and then I'm going in a little bit heavier and darker because I started with a white base. When you start with a white base of cardstock, this often does necessitate having to really build up that color to get the seamless blend. But once you have a nice base, I do find it a lot easier then to apply the rest of the colors. Now I'm going in with Seedless preserves, and I am very messily adding this in just a few areas. And I don't want it to be all over, but I do want it to kind of have some darker and some lighter areas. Then we're going to go back with Prize Ribbon, and we're going to go over the entire thing with a very heavy hand, so that really there's just peaks and little pops of that bright Seedless Preserves purple showing through. It's kind of a magenta-ish purple, I guess I would call it. I love this for kind of night skies, Halloween skies, in this case out of this world skies. Next, we are going to take black soot, which I call the magic color for any type of inking. I just love the depth and dimension the black soot adds. We're going to go around the edges of the entire panel with black soot, blending it into the center. So just kind of pulling that color towards the center. Again, I don't want to completely cover this up. I just want peaks of blue and purple showing through. Now we're going to take some of the white pigment ink and these new layering stencils from Pretty Pink Posh, and I have created a palette with my white pigment ink. The reason I do this is because our pouncer tool, ink blending tool, brush can pick up that color from the Distress Oxide ink and transfer it to your ink pad. So I always press the ink onto another surface and then apply it. You can see that my blending brush has some staining to it. This is the blending brush I use for white pigment ink. It doesn't transfer the color to other projects. However, I always keep it because I don't want that blue ink to get on my white ink pad. Then I am lining up the second stencil. So I used the white pigment ink with the first stencil. I am lining up my second stencil, and it did take a little bit of work. It was a little bit tricky to see. I probably should have lined this up a little bit better, but I promise I'll get it. And it doesn't have to be super perfect. And then I'm going to take this gold hero paste and a fine tip palette knife, and I am going to apply that color through my stencil. So we have ink blended our background, we have stenciled our background with white pigment ink, and now we're applying some paste through that second stencil. So we have these beautiful gold accents all over. And this is going to create an amazing background design. It's going to have texture, it's going to have shimmer and color, and we aren't even done with the backgrounds. I often think that our backgrounds, well, I don't think this, I think this all the time. Our backgrounds are just as important as the rest of the card. And that is because it really helps tie the whole story together. So I spend a lot of time working on my backgrounds, or a lot of thought goes into my backgrounds. I try to be very thoughtful is how I want to say that with my backgrounds. So I did go ahead and do 2 backgrounds. I did the other one off camera. And I have some Distress Mica stain in the color Frozen Fog. So this is going to give us even more shimmer and shine to our background. It will kind of absorb a bit, but it will leave us with these shimmery stars in our sky. And then on top of that, we are going to take white gouache and we are going to do some white spatter throughout our background as well. So Frozen Fog and white gouache. Now with the white gouache, I do like to water it down just a tiny bit. You can see I just put a little bit in my box. I did add a little water to it. It helps it move better, but the white is going to stay white. It's going to show up really well as opposed to acrylic paint and things like that. I actually did a comparison video a few years ago, and I will pop that in here. So if you want to kind of see the difference, you can check that out. So now we're going to set these aside to dry while we prep and work on the rest of the pieces for our card, which will be amazing, adorable shakers. So first up, we have our Rocketship shaker. And you can see the dies there on the left side of the screen. I have used colored cardstock to die cut the pieces. Starting with the outline piece, you use the solid rocket plus the insert to die cut the frame. I am layering it to a piece of acetate where I've taken the Rocketship and die cut that from some Hero Arts acetate. I do find that the Hero Arts acetate die cuts really well, and I will use that a lot. Lawn Fawn also has a great acetate that cuts very easily. Then removing the backing paper from our thin foam adhesive strip, I'm going to curve that around the rocket shape edge. Now that is a fun little tip. If you take the backing paper off, you can manipulate your foam adhesive to go around curves and edges so much easier. Yes, it's a little sticky, but I do try to just keep my fingers out of it as much as possible, but still be able to manipulate it. Now on the wings of the rocket and that bottom thruster or whatever that is called, I'm just going to put foam adhesive squares, and then we're going to take one of the mixes. This is the Evergreen mix. I'm going to fill my shaker pretty full. And it's going to be full of these little beads, leaving just a little bit of room because I do want to, have them move around. Then I have another piece of the Blue Jay cardstock. This is Blue Jay from Lawn Fawn, is this dark blue color. I am going to then lay that right on the back, and there is the base of our Rocketship shaker. This would also make adorable gift tags. Let's say you're doing a little boy's birthday party or a little girl's birthday party, whatever. Wouldn't it be cute to do gift bags and have this little Rocketship on them? I think it would be absolutely adorable. So then the wings of, I'm going to call them wings, of our Rocketship, those are out of some peacock cardstock. That silver tip and base, that is from some silver matte cardstock. And then the fire coming out the back has been die cut from some number 2 pencil cardstock. I think that's the color I use, that or mustard from Hero Arts. But I do think it needs a little bit of color to it, so we'll add that in a minute. There are layering pieces, these circles that can go right on your Rocketship. I do think they add a fun element. And then I did decide to go ahead and take some stars, and we are going to use I can't remember which one, but this is one of the new mixes. Stargazing, I think, is the one I'm using, it looks like. I am going to put little dabs of glue and use these little blue stars to embellish those circles on my rocket ship. Now, I'm not done embellishing those, but for now I am. We're going to remove some of our foam adhesive squares, and I have my grip mat, and I have a little bit of abandoned coral, and I'm just going to ink up my flame coming out of that thruster just a little bit. I think it adds that really nice effect. So I'm just going to wipe that completely clean, and we're going to pop that up on our card as well. Now, because we have spent so much time making this beautiful background, I don't think this card needs a whole lot else. I'm going to trim it down with my paper trimmer to 4 by 5 1/4 inches. We're going to then adhere our rocket right to our card. It already has foam underneath the window frame for the shaker, so I don't really think it needs extra foam at this point. And before I attach anything, I did stamp and emboss a greeting from the Outer Space stamp set. I used "You Are Out of This World," and I embossed it with white. I really felt like that's all that card needed. Let's go ahead and work on our second card. This one is using the Planet Shaker. So I love this. I've peeled all of the pieces off just like I did with the Rocketship. We are going to die cut the pieces from some cardstock. I did do inking for my planet. And the reason I did inking for the planet is I felt like it needed to be multicolored instead of flat. Using a little fossilized amber, I'm going to go in. I did do a base of the planet from white cardstock. Then I used the base with the circle insert to make the frame, just like I did for the Rocketship. I have a little Seedless preserves now that I'm going in very messily over the background and the outer part of the planet. I kind of want them to match. And then again, black soot to add in a little bit of, you know, moodiness, I suppose, to this. And then the ring for my planet is that silver matte cardstock. And I filled it, added a greeting, and there are my 2 out of this world cards. Super easy. And again, a final step for the Rocketship with some glossy accents over those circles. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for this unboxing and card video featuring Pretty Pink Posh June 2024 release products. The supplies I used are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me today for another paper crafting tutorial. I love being able to share with this incredible community of crafters. I want to give a huge shout out and special thank you to my amazing Patreon members. If you're interested in joining Patreon, please click the link in the description underneath the video here on YouTube. Patreon is a private community where you can support more of what I do. There is exclusive content, information, and behind-the-scenes content. Top-tier members will receive a handmade birthday card during your birthday month, access to D-Stash, and monthly exclusive lives, plus so much more. We would love to have you join our growing community. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel, click that like button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to always be notified when I have a new video. Thanks for watching!